Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to Vicky 3. This is episode 6. Ashanti is now under protectorate status of France. That has just happened. First things first, it puts us in their market instead of ours. We'll see if that manually changed any of our laws, like isolationism. May not even be a possibility right now, so that might have been a forced change. We'll check in on that. We'll also check in on whether that opens up as a protectorate. Can we have an offensive war? Can we attack Dahomey? And with the backing of France, does that mean that the UK would no longer be interested? And of course, long term, the fear is that France is going to want to, at some point, absorb us and annex us and have us no longer exist. Of course, when the time comes, that would mean, the end of the playthrough, and we would move on to the next slightly larger nation as we, build our way up and figure out ins and outs of the game. To have some lessons in this one, well, it seems like right now diplomatic is where we are finding some lessons in this playthrough, but we're not quite at a stage where we've learned a whole lot, and I think mostly that's because we've only played 25 years with a very small nation, where last time we played roughly 50 years with a even smaller nation, but that extra 25 years meant we did progress. So let's hope that things are not over in the next few minutes or anything like that. Let's keep pushing on. At this moment, fractional moment in time, our economy, our balance is very good. Now, is that having anything to do with the fact that we are now in the French market? Very well could be. It's going to introduce new goods to us, for sure, and it's going to put our goods on their market, which means we should, I would think, be able to begin fully employing virtually every single area we had. But last I had checked, dependent status was kind of the only thing that was really holding us up. We have a population, and everyone was fully employed. There was no unemployed individuals, but there was still a ton of dependents. Now, knowing this one firsthand, my wife's from the Philippines. I know how things work there. And I know that you're not unemployed even though you've never had a job your entire life and you're 50 years old. It's because you've never had an opportunity. There was never a job for you to have in the first place. Unemployment is more of a construct of you were employed and you are no longer. You were fired or you were laid off and you have ceased to have gainful employment. If there was nothing in the first place, then you're just simply a dependent on somebody who is able to bring in some type of income. Well, anyway, we do have a millet farm that is currently under construction, and then we will very quickly see how our economy is transformed. We'll see if we have a rapid rise in radicals or anything along those lines, and of course, we want to see what's going on diplomatically, economically, with these changes. Let's proceed. Well, first, let me move the camera where I actually wanted it to be, and that's still not where it is. First thing, let's get the camera where we wanted it to be, not where it is for Pro Cycling Manager. Legitimacy of the government has only fallen off by a single %, so forced into protectorate status has not suddenly destabilized our own internal government, but what has happened in terms of the laws. We are still isolationist, which is odd. I suppose that's the rules that we are governed by, even though Our economic system that's still somehow traditionalist is what it is. We have what we have. The peasant levies looks like something that could be changed. Getting a professional army or a nationalist militia, not a popular concept right now, so we don't necessarily need to push for that when, well, in protectorate status, we don't really need to have the military. We are very much at the whims of France. We don't stand a chance against them. We don't stand a chance against their enemies. We're wholly relying on their role. And here is a brief look at what this French market now includes. And that, of course, includes the French territory here, the French territory just here. We're all part of that now. You can see the buy and sell orders are now ridiculously high compared to what it was. The good thing for us, that means everything that is here, like sulfur's on the market. So it looks like sell orders and buy orders aren't very high right now. That's unfortunate, but we know that there is going to be something when it comes to goods like sulfur. They're going to be happy to have it on the market here at some stage in the not so distant future. Ammunition, of course, is going to be the key on that one. But the French market has definitely expanded things, and you can see, at least for the time being, we have we skyrocketed? Are we off the chart? It's so high now. Quick look at our growth in Kumasai. Really excited by that. I just love that the map is so dynamic like this. And then, when you throw in the surrounding area, you can see our neighbors to the south. The Western powers are a bit bigger and stronger than what we are. One noteworthy thing is that we do have radicals on the rise, as it looks like we have a big peace deal here in the U.S. Mexico just take back some of the U.S.? Wasn't this already settled? I don't know. It's 1862. Canada is united now. It's hard to remember the last playthrough to this one at the moment. Heavenly Kingdom existing. By the way, we are 30 weeks away from our first Arts Academy being done. That should do something to also help with that standard of living as we start producing art for the first time. And that is slowly climbing. We were at 10.9 just a year ago. Now it's 11.3. And the Arts Academy is done. We'll see how quickly it employs. It only employs 1,000 people to begin with. Weekly balance, of course, starts as a negative, but what can we do? It's going to take paper, so that's one thing. Well, there's a market for it. So it's okay. But what can we do to get this thing up and running? And what's it going to ultimately produce for us is fine art. So this is very much a high class, and France is already the #1 producer worldwide of fine arts. You can see our production is instantly higher than our consumption, but that's fine. Buy and sell orders are very low. Well, it's already starting to just about even out and pay for itself, so that's not bad. And eventually, it will increase. I don't know why I was trying to jump to 2, but there you go. We have 1. We're going to build our first sulfur mine, by the way. And now that it's 1863, let's check in on that diplomatic play. What is possible? How's it looking? Dahomey. Denmark would side with us. So there's that. France would essentially remain neutral as a protectorate. They're not too interested. I would think, as our protectorate, if Great Britain got involved, that France may want to join our side, but we're still at the whims of the Western powers. So what would that look like? Great Britain. Let's check in on how everybody kind of feels about us. Denmark protective 150, British cautious 24. Maybe it's time to it's at plus 44. It's at plus 44. And the Netherlands is pretty cordial as well. And then, of course, France. We know the U.S. doesn't care about us. They're genial. And France is domineering, but why would they stop us from expanding? Because they don't have control of Dahomey. It would add Dahomey to their markets. You would think, as we already have protectorate status, they would encourage us. We'll see. All right, so diplomatic play against Dahomey begins for the, fourth time now? We'll see if Britain jumps in on the other side. Leaning. Oh, there you go. Leaning towards Dahomey. Russia. Why would Russia lean towards Dahomey? The Netherlands also leaning towards them. And Egypt. Yikes. All right, well, first phase is done, and they're cocky. I think they feel like they're gonna get some support here. I'm holding off on mobilizing. They are already fully mobilized. No one has joined yet. Halfway through. Could this finally be our time? Is the threat of French intervention enough to keep others out of this? Escalation is still continuing. We're getting into the final phase. Countdown to war is close. I feel like I'm gonna have to mobilize here before we get started. I'm just afraid of the mobilization is going to trigger somebody here to join. But I wanted to wait till the last possible moment. Let's wait till about here. Still no one has joined. All right, it's time. It's last possible moment. I mean, we're at 90% there. 10% sway countries. That's Denmark. Denmark would sway our direction. Do I want to sway Denmark? I mean, is that gonna stop these guys from getting involved? All right, ready to mobilize with our new general. 90% of the way there towards conflict. Cannot delay any further. Let's hope this does not. Great Britain has already declared neutrality. France has declared neutrality. 91, 92, 94. Still no one is joining. Still no one is joining. Could it be? Could it be? Uh-oh. Last possible second, something ticked. Nope. It's just us. It's us versus them. Now, they did get stronger. They're stronger than they were before. So we are going to have to watch out. It's still only 10 units, but 2 arms. Folks, we have finally done it. We are finally in conflict with and for Dahomey. Now we have our garrison troops here. Our mobilization is happening here. We will have a front soon enough, but at the moment, only a single battalion. Is that all we have that is actually mobilized? Yeah, one fully mobilized battalion is all. I thought we would have gotten a little bit further along in that process than we are at the moment. But we do have 15 to, kind of defend and hold up. And you can see already we've got not an edge, but this group is buying us some time while the others mobilize. Like I said, I was afraid to mobilize as previously it seemed like that attracted attention and got others into the fight. So waiting till the last minute has avoided that, but it has also cost us an advantage in this one. So we'll see how we're looking. But this is a without general group. I'm wondering if we need to get one. But we have our first 30 dead. No commander. I don't mind this. We'll be okay. Yeah, see, it's already starting to turn the advantage our direction a little bit. And they're attacking troops. It's going our way. It's going our way at the moment. Those 7 battalions lost to our 14. That was the thing. They didn't attack with enough numbers, even though they were technically stronger. It was 19 to 14. But overall, we had twice the battalions they had. All right, now, how we want to get you to advance the front. Now that you have your 15 battalions, are they even mobilized? Where's our... Only 11 are mobilized so far, so actually I really don't want to necessarily... Let's defend the front for the time being. There we go. Wait until we mobilize. Again, they have some stronger battalions, so we don't want to go crazy here. Take our time, be patient. Okay, now all 20 are mobilized. All 20 are mobilized. Let's check in on kind of what's happening here with the front. They're at 12 now, by the way, so they have added 2 more, I'm guessing through conscription. But I'm getting the extra 15 here on the front as we defend it. So see if we can, give a little bit of a sucker punch, and then we want to go on the offensive once we've softened them up a little bit, like letting them attack first, right? No active battles at the moment. They are not attacking. I think we're going to have to give the order, advance the front. Alright, here we go. So the advance front is on. And there is our first battle underway on the offensive. And this is going in our favor at the moment. It's going in our favor. And see, not without losses, right? Not without losses. But we just conquered a lot of their territory, advancing the front there. But we're not going to have the help of the 15 anymore. Okay, this has also kind of opened up 2 fronts now that we've split it in half, but they seem to have no troops here either. I'm not going to suddenly recruit a second general to make this happen. But here we are, suddenly outnumbered and losing. Okay, reclaiming that. Get a little more out of it this time too. And this time we're actually attacking with our full force. 16 at the moment of our 20 available. And they're down to just 9. I don't know if we've wiped 3 out or they're just undermanned. But we're about to lock down that territory, which means it'll push the whole front up to here. And there you go. We actually do have our full force. I think we are going to be wrapping this fight up here fairly soon, accomplishing our goals. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Dahomey has capitulated. Yes. We have expanded. Love it. Look at that. Ashanti. And we have a port. We have a port, folks. Okay, let's make sure we are not mobilized. Good. We also pick up 10 battalions out of Dahomey. I'm sure we do not have full control over the 10 that are there, but that's already expanded our military. We've expanded the market. That's all, I'm assuming, going to get added into our market. Yes, French market. It also connects up the other French territory here, making that all united. That expansion target. We don't want to do anything for about 5 years, though. The last thing we need to do is offend the Western powers. Sokoto could be a future target as well, but they're big. All right. Well, first thing about Dahomey, GDP. That's high. That's higher than what we had. So they had a better GDP. Could have had something to do with that port being there. Maybe not. Their population is a little bit larger than what we have. And it's actually growing, unlike ours, but we'll see if that suddenly changes. It's right on the same level, standard of living, as our nation. There's a lot of turmoil, of course, and we're going to want to incorporate this as soon as possible. In fact, let's just go ahead and begin that process. 5 years. The devastation will go away soon enough. We are going to have a little bit as well. They are abusing the infrastructure, so that's something we'll want to fix. But that also means they must have a lot done here. 1 government administration building, 2 logging camps, 1 fishing wharf. Be happy to have that in our market. And wow, look how they have grown. How have they managed to do that? 3 barracks, 1 port. Well, they do have 1 construction center, but I'm surprised they have so much. Of course, that's 1 state. We've been dividing ours up, but that's still faster than what we've been able to grow. And we, don't forget, we have Ashanti Volta up there as well. So technically, we have 4 states now in our control. Really, 3 in a itty bitty. So our first step, and it's only a step because there's still a big problem involved. To getting some laws that we're going to need to pass in the not too distant future. We've got to get the rural folk into the government. Now, it turns out that I can swap rural folk and armed forces and actually gain 2 legitimacy and get back up to 100%. The only problem is, in order to pass the laws, the rural folk want the laws that I want to get passed right now. But the landowners are the opposition, and they have half of the clout in our government. Meaning, if they're here, they're overwhelmingly saying no. Now, they're happy, they're loyal, so I could theoretically force them out of the government and ultimately be okay. But the radicalism is going to rise, well, potentially. I mean, they're still happy. But our legitimacy is just going to fall off. And so we're going to have some negative things happen if we do that. But in the meantime, at least getting the rural folk into the government, I suppose, is a first step. We'll take that one. Number of radicals went up. Most all of that is in Dahomey, and that makes sense as we are working on expanding things here. But yeah, Dahomey, that project, we're 1 year. 1 year in, it's going to take 5 years to get them introduced, and the turmoil is slowly coming down. It's come down by about 4 or 5% so far. One thing that could help short term, but would hurt long term, is the law enforcement, the institution. If we bump this up, state penalties from turmoil will shrink quite a bit. But the landowners are going to have greater political strength, and I just don't want them to have greater political strength right now. We are thinking long-term about what's next, and they are the obstacle. So if I give them additional political strength, it's not going to help. So for now, I'm just taking the penalties as they are with the turmoil, and we will just slowly get them integrated and hopefully see that turmoil fall away and see them happier in time. And we are inching our way into a negative balance, but it is so tiny right now that I'm not worried about it. We have so much in cash reserves, but if that starts to grow, we will quickly change that out. I have a feeling this mostly has to do with radicals, but you can see that that turmoil and that integration process is starting to make gains, and we're seeing those radicals fall back off. Also, we are seeing continued gains in the standard of living. It's nearly up to 12 now. Yeah, that turmoil has come down by 10% so far. Standard of living just an 8 here. This one's really hurting. I'd very much like to see something done here. Well, that one livestock ranch actually is fully, and we do have 5 arable land. It's not nothing. Let's go ahead and get a millet farm on the go in Ashanti Volta. Let's see if that helps them out a little bit. Well, we knew this moment was coming, but here's the thing. This is not it's subjugation. Subjugation is a step further than what we have now. We do have a sway country's 2 options. Unfortunately, the 2 that I was hoping for are not interested. We do have 2 totally useless options, which means I think we're going to have to accept subjugation, and that probably will now rule out diplomatic advances like we just made against Dahomey. Protectorate status to subject. As a French subject, that's going to be it. I think we're going to have to give in. Yeah, there it is. Yield our position. Well, folks, today's episode is a little bit shorter, but last time we ended with a major French diplomatic play as they put us in protectorate status. That may or may not have been a factor in our eventual conquering of Dahomey. So we have done that. We have succeeded with that. And now we're going to end this episode with France increasing the level of control over us from protectorate status to subject. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.